We got 10 games on the Major League Baseball slate tonight. Four of them going here before the evening slate kicks off. Which of these games should we be betting on? That's what we care about, and that's what we're going to find out here on First Pitch. Giants, Nationals, early game coming up here. Reds, Marlins, Yankees, Angels, O's, and Blue Jays are the games we'll definitely be touching upon here. And since they're going early, we're live here, 11 Eastern. Bryan Power, Tokyo Brandon joining me. We got to get right into these games, BP, because you want to talk Giants Nationals right at the top of the board. It's Harrison. It's hers. How are we looking to bet this one? Less than an hour from now if you're tuning in live.
Yeah, Giants have taken two of the first three. I was on them yesterday in the first five, but that was with Blake Snell starting, guys, and that means Blake Snell is not starting today. I am far less enthusiastic about Harrison. He got rocked his last time out. Gave up 4 home runs, 6 runs total. That was in Cincinnati. Continuation of a troubling trend for Mr. Harrison in his short career. He's just been a lot worse on the road, Dan, than he has been at home. You look at the numbers, 5.02 ERA away from home as a major league starter. That's nearly 2 full points higher than his home ERA. Big deal there. 5.12 xFIP on the road as well. And like I just mentioned, the long ball was a problem against the Reds. That's consistently been a problem when he's pitched away from home. His home run rate is way up compared to at home. Meanwhile, Hers on the mound for Washington, he's better than Harrison. To that point, he's given up only 5 runs and 10 hits combined his last 3 starts. So I think the Nats are the right side here. I would endorse them both first 5 and full game. I've done just that already today here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel on the Power 5 and the Morning Wager. And I'll add here, DraftKings has the Nats team total at only 3.5. It is juiced to the over, minus 140, but that's worth a look too. You can take over 4.5. I think you'd be safe at plus 125. I think they can get over that against Harrison and a Giants bullpen, Dan, that was putting a lot of guys on base yesterday. They got away with it late, but the Nationals are the right side. I think there's a variety of ways to play them. First 5, full game over that team total. You can do them all if you like, but they are the correct side in this early start time Thursday.
BP all about the Nats coming up here at noon with a cornucopia of how to bet them. First 5, full game, over team total. Take your pick how you want to bet the Nats. BP says just do it. Hop below in the comments. Which of those are you looking to ride, or you have a different way to attack some of this early game slate? While you're hanging out with us, hit that like button, subscribe. You hit that little bell, you'll get notified when we go live. If you're joining us on social media, that follow button will keep us in your timeline, getting you that actionable info you know and love. Tokyo Brandon, welcome in. The man is always seeing it well year after year, up at the top of the leaderboard here, much to the chagrin of our friend Mark Zinno, who's always complaining about him not being on the leaderboard. But when you guys got like people like Tokyo Brandon who just keep on winning, it's going to be tough to get up there. That's right, BP. I sent a shot at your morning wager cohort there. That's what we do. But Tokyo Brandon, let's talk Yankees and Angels here for you. Doubleheader yesterday. And I guess, we talked about that huge price and how there were going to be people parlaying the Yankees together. They can't lose. They're going to roll the Angels. They split the doubleheader. So game 3 here, the series finale will not be affected by rain. How do you see this one shaking out here on Thursday? A lot of people are in the chat were saying Yankees are automatic. Nothing's automatic in baseball, right, TB?
Nothing is automatic in baseball. I haven't heard the word cornucopia in a long time, so it's nice to hear that.
I thought you'd like that. Thinking Thanksgiving. Yeah,
it's nice. I haven't heard the word rich coatite in a while either, but anyways.
That's the pre-show chat.
Pre-show chat. Yeah, you guys didn't hear that. We got Tyler Anderson going against Nestor Cortez. And I'm not exactly going to make a bet on this, but I'm going to warn you guys not to waste your money. So here's what I'm going to say. Tyler Anderson's a better pitcher than he gets credit for, and Nestor Cortez is a much worse pitcher than he gets credit for. I have my rankings in my database that I do, and I take about 300 starting pitchers and I rank them on a curve of 30 so I can compare them to bullpens and lineups. And I have Tyler Anderson ranked 19 of 30, but I have Nestor Cortez ranked 25 out of 30. So Angels actually have a starting pitcher advantage. If you look at how he's performed against the Yankees in his career, he's gotten 66 at bats against. He's held them to a 197 batting average against and a 610 OPS, which is really good. Anything under 750 in my book is pretty good. Now, Nestor Cortez has good numbers against the Angels as well. But if you take a look at the bullpens, I have them ranked even. They're both top 10 bullpens. The lineup is where the Yankees have a little bit of an advantage. I have the Yankees ranked 10, where I have the Angels ranked 20. So yes, they do have a slight advantage here, but they're getting way too much of a number here, like minus 210, minus 250, where the Angels are plus 205. It's a little ridiculous in my book. I'm not really confident enough to take the Angels on the money line, but they certainly are not as bad as this line indicates. So taking Tyler Anderson in his outs recorded prop would be decent. Over 17.5 outs would be a good bet. Taking the Angels team total over might be a decent bet as well. But there's several ways you can bet the Angels here because I don't think they're as bad as the line indicates. There's also the Yankee tax here. So, the Yankees always get a better line than they deserve because everyone wants to bet them because they have a lot of fans. So with all that being said, I don't exactly endorse an Angels money line bet here, but I do endorse the Angels to be a lot better than plus 205. So take that for what it's worth, and that's my breakdown for this game.
Yeah, nothing is automatic. That is for sure. We learned that in the doubleheader yesterday. Learned it time after time. If you're a baseball bettor, the sure things often are the ones you should probably be crossing off of the card. Here in the chat, Titan CT, shout out to you from within. Tyler, Richie Lockhart, Kyle Davis with a love you guys over on YouTube Shorts. Kyle, we love you as well. But Titan CT was pointing out BP. Over could be a play here during Tokyo Brandon's breakdown of the Angels and the Yankees. It opened at that key number of 9. We got it pushed down. Yeah, and we're seeing money going towards the under. So not only has it gotten pushed off of that key number of 9, we're seeing the under at about, let's call the consensus minus 120 at 8.5. So Tokyo Brandon, you're already bemoaning playing an over in this one. So you can wrap up some thoughts, and then we'll get BP's thoughts on this game, thoughts on the total. But I guess your groaning told us don't bet the under is what you're saying, TV, right?
Just very quickly, we have one lineup that's not very good, which is the Angels, and we have 2 top 10 bullpens. I definitely would not bet the over in this because we have also 2 starting pitchers with great numbers and great history against the other team. So I would endorse an over in this game as much as I would endorse Wayne Fontes as the head coach of my favorite football team.
Timely references is what you're always going to get here on First Pitch on WagerTalk TV. BP, any thoughts on that matchup? I mean, the price, forget the side. I mean, Tyler says Angels getting the 1.5. Is that the best bet in baseball is the question for him. But any thoughts there on the total that's already gotten pushed low? I mean, it's factored in how TB was saying one of these lineups, they're not going to be contributing to it. So any thoughts on that before I go full homer and brag about Schwarber hitting 1 million home runs last night? So let's wrap up this one before I get up on my soapbox.
Look, the only thing I would divert from is that I'm not as big a fan as Tyler Anderson, but he is, I mean, the numbers are the numbers. His expected ERA is a lot higher than his actual ERA. That's been my issue with him all season. I've tried fading him a few times, but he's had my number. You look at his last couple starts, he has been good. To Tokyo Brandon's point, he gave up 1, 3, and 3 runs. So I had no read on this game coming off the doubleheader yesterday. It was just an easy pass for me. And Anderson's been a guy who, again, that's the only thing I would diverge from the breakdown from Tokyo Brandon there, that I'm not as high on Anderson, but I don't like Cortez either. So, and I would absolutely concur that he is not as good as he's given credit for. So easy pass for me on this one. I was actually thinking about the over, but the how quickly Tokyo Brandon responded there says, no, I don't think that's the right way to look at it. So I will not be playing this game at all. Yeah,
that was a guttural response from TV.
It might go over, but we have to bet probability here.
That's fair. No, that's definitely fair. That's Tokyo Brandon, Bryan Power. We got best bets coming up, folks. We'll talk talk Reds and Marlins, O's and Blue Jays. But shout out to you tuning in over on TikTok. Alessandro over there. He's got a two-parter. So because we love you, Alessandro, we'll let you ask two questions here. Padres over 7.5 or Brewers money line. So that's Brewers, Braves, that's Montes, that's Morton, and Pirates and Padres. Both of these are early games, so we'll hit them real quick here for you. Vasquez and Ortiz. BP, I'll throw it back your way. Either thought on either of those? The Brewers money line are going over in the Padres game. That sounds like an alt line total too. I'm not seeing 7.5.
Well, I don't know if he means like over for the full game or whatever. But here's the thing. I like the Pirates. I think they're the right side. That's the game I'll talk about. Now, I've had San Diego each of the first two games of this series. I played them first 5 in both games. But let's look at what those pitching matchups were and what today's pitching matchup was. It was Cease against Falter. And then yesterday I had King against Marco Gonzalez. I don't root for anyone to be unemployed, quite frankly, but I do not know how Marco Gonzalez is still cashing a paycheck at the big league level. I mean, this guy stinks. But today, it's a bit of a different story. You got Ortiz going for the Bucks, and you got Vasquez going for the Padres. The Padres do not have a starting pitching advantage here, in my opinion. And I think one thing that's interesting to note, Dan, Pittsburgh has not lost 4 in a row going all the way back to early May. They've lost 3 in a row now coming to this game. You look at Ortiz, he's basically had just one bad inning since the start of July. That was the first inning his last time out. There was some talk that maybe he was tipping pitches. I don't know what the deal was, but Arizona just jumped, who's been as hot as any lineup in baseball, obviously. They jumped all over Ortiz in the first inning for 5 runs, but you take that out, Ortiz has given up just 5 runs total his last 5 starts. Vasquez, not a huge fan, 5.91 expected ERA this season. The Padres bullpen, losing Cease early with that rain delay in the first game of the series, and then yesterday they had to use a bunch of guys. That group is taxed. I think the Pirates are going to avoid the sweep, and they are the team that I think will put runs on the board here. I know San Diego's been great since the break. I like San Diego as a dark horse to win the National League, but I think today Pittsburgh's the right side. I would look at them either money line or over their team total.
TB, how about you? Any thoughts on either of those matchups? He obviously touched upon the Buccos and the Padres there. And again, the total that I'm seeing here is 9. So I might want to be on the book that Alessandro's on, unless he's talking alt line, looking at that 7.5. But how about Brewers or Braves? Any feeling on either of these for you, TB?
Brewers and Braves, huh? Well, about the Padres and Pirates, the Pirates team total at 4.5 seems a little bit high to me, because you got 2 top 5 bullpens right there. But let's see, Brewers, huh? Brewers. Let's take a look. Montas and Morton. Oof. The Braves have been struggling to put up runs until yesterday, and Milwaukee has been putting up runs quite well. So right now, Milwaukee has the better lineup. Bullpen's a little even. Morton definitely is a better pitcher than Montas. So if I was to go anywhere on this, it would be the Braves. But their lineup worries me. I'd like to see them put up some run production a couple more games in a row, because they were really, really in quite a quagmire for the last week or so. So I'd probably wait and see on this. But if I had to go one way or the other, I'd take the Braves here, because Montas is just not a good pitcher. Morton has been good. I don't know how he's doing it. You might want to test the guy, because at his age, I don't know how he's doing this, but he's got a 3.94 ERA and a 6.6 record. But he's looked really good. So if I were to lean anyway, it'd be the Braves in that one.
So Braves for our man Tokyo Brandon. And how about you, BP? Because over on Instagram, ILSOH1, appreciate you tuning in. He said, longtime watcher, follower, listener, whatever the hell you call him, like the Brewers for the sweep. Any intel, he's asking. So you got a little intel from a former MLB scout there. BP, you have anything on the total? Any thoughts for the Brewers going for the sweep today? Are you in agreement? Montes and his 5.01 ERA, 144 whip, maybe not exactly what you want when you're going for the sweep. What say you, BP?
Yeah, it would be Braves or pass for me here. Yesterday on the Power Five, I endorsed the Braves to go over their team total. I know that's just what I do, Dan, right? If a team gets shut out in back-to-back games, let's just play them to score runs. So I did that, and they went over the team total, even though they lost. It is – the Braves are an interesting team, aren't they? I mean, could they realistically miss the playoffs? I mean, of course, anything can happen, right? It's baseball. But, you look at the way the standings are. San Diego's surging. Arizona's surging. The Mets are right behind. There's going to be an odd team out of those four. For a lot of this year, I thought, are the Braves just kind of gold bricking because they've had the great regular seasons and they've flamed out in the playoffs? I'm like, are they just concentrating? But I don't know, man. They've had an inconsistent lineup. If they can't win with Sale on the mound like they couldn't yesterday, that's troubling. But hard for me to see with Montas on the mound, Milwaukee finishing off a 3-game sweep here. So I would say it's Braves or pass for me. It did not make my client card, just in full candor.
Bryan Power right there. You can find him on X. Bryan Power wins. You can also find these guys over at WagerTalk.com. We got a great special. It expires this Sunday, 2 months, and get August free. The sooner that you buy that, the more all access that you're getting here through August. NFL preseason kicking off here tonight, so you can get some plays in that. MLB, get you through the preseason into the start of the season, cash some NFL tickets, and that's a great deal that you can get at both of these guys' page. No code needed. Find out more, wt.buzz/deals. All right, gentlemen, I've been rolling with these questions long enough. It's time to talk Phillies and D-backs, right? I'm appeasing the people. I want to talk about Schwarber making the ball go boom last night. It's funny, though, because NLCS, matchup here with the Phillies and Diamondbacks from last year, it's almost reminiscent of what happened last year. Schwarber still hitting the ball, and then the Phillies got to go to Arizona and completely collapse. So maybe we'll be seeing the same here this evening. This is a late start, TB. You know the D-backs well, and it looks like it's going to be a bullpen game to me for this Phillies side. Allard going to be on the mound. He'll be opposing Jordan Montgomery. Robert S. earlier in the chat, he was saying D-backs Phils over 9.5, having Montgomery for the D-backs. Phils going with the bullpen game. Is it that easy? Do we just bet over in this game? How do you see this one shaking out after the Phillies get the series win over the Dodgers?
Did Bryan say Milwaukee?
He did say
Milwaukee for the good land. Yes.
I don't think TB heard a word I said. He was like, "What the hell is a Milwaukee?" But that's BP's thing.
In my head. Yeah. Milwaukee.
Algonquin for the good land. It's a Wayne's World reference. There you go. There's 3 people that got excited about that in the chat. Yeah.
We got one like off of that, BP. One like, and we'll take it.
Cool. That's awesome. Hey, take and get what you can get. All
right, TB. How about Philadelphia? What are we betting in this one?
Philadelphia and Arizona A. I'm actually from Arizona, by the way, but. So Montgomery, what happened to this guy? He was like a complete stud in the playoffs last year and in the World in the playoffs and leading up to the playoffs last year. And then this year he's completely dropped off a cliff. He does have a winning record though. He's 7-5. Why? Because the Diamondbacks put up a lot of runs. And they've made some good additions at the trade deadline that not a lot of people are talking about, like Bell. And I like their addition of Suarez, even though he's not hitting for average. He is very clutch in times where it counts. Suarez tends to produce as well. We got 2 bullpens that are performing very poorly. We got 2 top 5 lineups right now. And we have 2 pitchers who are very untrustworthy. So I definitely would say over in this. 9.5 is really high for a Major League Baseball game. But if anyone's going to go over 9.5, it's going to be these 2 today, unless it's Patrick Corbin and he doesn't play for either one of these teams. So, I would say over. Team totals, if the team totals are 4.5, I'd have to say over on those as well. So bet it how you can get it. Either one of these teams probably going to go over 4 runs, and this is probably going to go over 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5. I mean, I would love if we were getting that 9, but it looks like over money going to keep pushing that on up. Any thoughts for you in that one, BP? You know, I'm going to talk about the Phils as long as I potentially can because they're going up again. I was joking with you before the show. The fans are already saying World Series, we beat the Dodgers, so it's bedlam in Philadelphia. Wrap up some thoughts on this, and then we'll talk Mets and Rockies for one of our friends over there on Instagram, KV8291. Thoughts on this one, though, the late game?
Yeah, I'll make you happy, Dan. I hate the situation for Arizona today. I think Arizona's in a tough spot. They played a doubleheader yesterday here in Cleveland. Now they fly back west, no rest between games. They had to use the bullpen quite a bit over the 2 games. They really got lucky with the home run ball. So I was at the game. I was at game 1, I should say. And they hit 3 home runs, Arizona, in the win over Cleveland. Give them credit, by the way. That's the first time Cleveland's been swept at home all season. But in that first game, Arizona, they would hit, they'd hit it, and you'd be like, all right, well, it's going to be an out. It's going to be out. And it would clear the wall. 2 of their 3 home runs in the first game landed barely over the wall. That's just how Progressive Field is played this year with the changes to the stadium. The physical changes to the stadium. Montgomery, TB hit on it, man. Montgomery's awful, especially at home. How about an 8.39 ERA and 2.07 WHIP? He's got a 425 on base percentage allowed here at Chase Field. I know the Phillies don't typically score as many runs on the road, Dan, as they do at home, but they put up 9 and 6 the last 2 days at Dodger Stadium. That's a better staff. And Arizona's bullpen, although they've made some changes, but 7th worst ERA, 7th worst bullpen ERA in all of baseball. I hate this situation for the Arizona off the doubleheader yesterday and now having to come back home to take on a team with the best record in the National League. I don't think Arizona should be favored here.
Best bets coming up: Reds, Marlins, O's, Blue Jays. Got a player prop in one and got a first 5 play coming your way in just a few moments here. WagerTalk first pitch. Shout out to KV over on Instagram. He wants to hear about Mets and Rockies. And Tokyo Brandon, you look at the total and you know that this game is in Colorado. You look at the pitchers and then it makes even more sense, especially the starting home pitcher. Mets team total in play here because one of your favorite guys, Gomer, is going to be on the mound, Tokyo. So how you seeing this one shake out?
I usually avoid games that are in this monkey park.
True. You hate the monkey park.
Skewed. I do. Everything's so skewed here, but both pitchers perform poorly against the other lineup. But Colorado actually surprisingly plays fairly decent at home if you call 25 and 30 decent, which it is considering the team is 42 and 73. So if Colorado wins, they win at home. Gomber, terrible pitcher, but Peterson's not a great pitcher either. Gomber's not quite as bad as everyone thinks he is. And the Mets are playing for something here. So I like the Mets, but I looked at the number. If this was like minus 140, minus 135, I would love the Mets here, but it's minus 160. So it's a little tough to play. Here's some betting advice though. If your book offers an alt run line at -1, it's a pretty safe way to chop about 20 or 30 cents off the line. And it's less risky because if your team wins, you get a push if they win by 1 run instead of a loss on the regular run line, which is -1.5. So a way to chop off 20, 30 cents off the line is to do an alt run line -1, which I like to do. So if I were to bet this game, I would bet the Mets -1. That would probably be my only way to go, although I haven't put that out as an.
Looking towards the Mets. No official play there for my man, Tokyo Brandon. Hop below in the comments. Let us know what your best bet is tonight. We got ours coming up here in just a few. But we got a question about the Tigers taking on the Mariners. I'll throw this one your way, Brandon. Titan CT wondering, any thoughts on Woo? That's right. No, not Ric Flair going to be on the mound. It's Brian Woo, of course. As the Tigers are looking, as the Tigers are looking to sweep this series, the thing that they're going to have to do is go up against the best starting pitcher for sure that the Mariners are able to throw at him here in the finale of the series. What are you thinking about this one, BP?
It doesn't matter who the Tigers throw out because Wu is just ridiculous at home. I mean, it's otherworldly.
Especially at
0.95
home,
ERA,
yeah.
0.64 WHIP. I mean, my goodness, a 180 batting average allowed. It's a difficult game to tackle because the uncertainty. But yeah, it's woo or pass for me here with the Mariners. I mean, this is just. I mean, it's just well documented the difference at home. I mean, every starting pitcher on this team is better at home. I think they've given up by far, maybe even by half a run. Maybe TB could correct me there, but I think they've given up a half run per game less at home than any other team has at home. Hard to score here. I know the Tigers, yesterday got it done, but I'm not going against Wu in Seattle. No chance there.
Guys, before we talk best bets here, just want to circle back to a question from David Talk in that Mets and Colorado Rockies game, because there is the little interesting note that Mets starting pitcher David Peterson, it's a hometown game for him. So if you like, the rah spots, all his friends and family in attendance, over under 5.5 Ks is the question from David Talk. So any thoughts for you, Tokyo Brandon? You scouted these type of players. You know what it's like going back to the hometown for them. Any extra juice that might make you look towards an over? I know it's the monkey ballpark. I know you're afraid of that part of it, but any thoughts on a potential pitcher prop in that one?
For Peterson, he only strikes out 7.6 guys per 9, and the Rockies only strike out 6.88 per game. I don't have home and road. I don't have home and road breakdowns for that, but I project Peterson at 4.5 strikeouts. So if anything, it'd be the under. But again, we're in the monkey park, so that can skew things in a weird direction. And we're all about predicting the future. And when you're predicting the future, you want reliability and probability here, and not a lot of probability in Colorado. If anything, pitchers come out a little earlier than they would in a normal park because they have trouble breathing in elevation, and they give up more long balls. So I would say the under for his strikeouts, but I projected it 4.5. So if it's 5.5, maybe the under.
Will the pride of Jesuit High School be dealing tonight in Denver? Hop below in the comments and let us know. Yeah, how about that research that I got for you, BP?
I'm impressed, Dan. Wow.
So I'm not messing around here, man. We get up pretty early to get ready for this show here. All right, let's talk some best bets. We talked about every. You know what I do, TB. I come proper. You know how it goes. Awesome. Yeah. We'll put that in air quotes for sure. Only game we didn't touch upon is Rays and Cardinals. Hop below in the comments. Let us know what you're doing with that game, because we're going to talk some best bets here with the gentlemen. And BP, I'll start off with you. Let folks know what you got over at WagerTalk, because maybe a little bit of a bump in the road, but still you've been seeing it great here over the last few days. 5-1 run. You got some thoughts here on Reds and Marlins. So tell folks what they'll get when they ride with you with that 2 months get one free special, and let us know how the hell we bet this one.
Yeah, it's a great deal. I think the clock is ticking on that special, the 2-for-1 special. You got obviously get the whole NFL preseason, first 2 months of the NFL regular season, first 2 months of the college football regular season, and soccer right around the corner as well. So you get all that. You buy 2 months, you get the rest of August free from me. You mentioned the 5-1 run, Dan. It includes a 5% winner on who? The aforementioned Colorado Rockies. Yes, I took them on Tuesday as a 5% play. It was an all-time great situation as they were coming off an off day and the Mets were playing in their third city in 3 different days. But that was Tuesday. Let's talk about Thursday and Reds Marlins. This is a pretty straightforward handicap, Dan, for me. I just want to back Red starter Hunter Green because he's very good. 20 innings scoreless streak. You go back further, he's allowed 1 or 0 earned runs in 7 of his last 8 starts. He is in great form. He's for the season, 2.92 expected ERA, 0.197 expected batting average allowed. Very good stuff. He's 7th in the NL in strikeouts, 8th in innings pitched, and he's facing a Miami lineup that is second to last in runs per game this season, ahead of only the dreadful White Sox. The Marlins starter, it's Kyle Tyler. And this guy has been passed around like a hat at Sunday church, man. He has changed teams quite a bit. 7 different teams since making his big league debut in 2021. Tells me he's not very good. His 1.58 whip this season tells me he's not very good. Only once has he made it through a full 5 innings this season. So I will cut this game in half. We've got a massive starting pitching edge here for the Reds, in my opinion. Keep in mind, 4 of the 6 runs Miami scored yesterday on one swing of the bat. I don't think they're getting a grand slam today off Green. Green is the difference maker here for the Reds, who, yes, I will mention it, everybody, in the comments section. I have to talk about the Reds' run differential every single day here on the YouTube channel. It is plus 39. They are deserving of a better record. I'm laying the half run in the first 5 here for my show best bet. After the first 5, it is Skyline Chili for everybody. After that, win or lose. But the Reds are going to have the lead after 5 innings in this one. Massive, massive starting pitching edge tonight.
Wow, a collection hat at Sunday Church and a Skyline Chili reference, all cased into a Reds first 5 breakdown. Masterfully done, masterfully done. I know we give you a lot of crap, Brian Power, but that was well done.
My writing team worked at they were right off camera here. They're working extra time for me, just handing in these jokes.
Excellent work. Excellent work that they're doing there. That's for sure. Tokyo Brandon over at WagerTalk.com. We already mentioned that great special that people have. I mean, you've proven it year over year since you've been with us here at WagerTalk. You're a great guy to partner with, whether people want the Asian baseball plays, MLB, you see it well, and you continue to cash in for your clients year over year. So people always say, well, what have you done for me lately? What have you done long-term? All Tokyo Brandon's done is win. So check him out over there. Let folks know what you got locked and loaded for tonight. And then what pitcher prop are we playing this evening for the O's and Blue Jays? This one going at 7-0-7 this evening. It's Dean Kremer against Gossman in this one. How are we betting it, TB?
Yeah, so a hat being passed around at church, much better than an ex-girlfriend being passed around at Sunday. That's just
that's why she's your ex. That's why she's your ex. That's why she's your ex, TB.
Exactly.
Don't worry.
You don't want your ex-girlfriends being passed around. So, yeah, I'm number 1 the last 30 days in profit, number 1 in MLB profit 2024, and number 1 all sports profit 3 of the last 4 years, including 2024. So things going well. It's another good season. And today I have a play in one of the early games, which is going to start right around when this broadcast is done. So the live broadcast. So you guys watching the repeat might not be able to jump on that. I believe it's starting right after we're done here. But I do also have a Mexican baseball play out, which I really like. And that's it for today. It's pretty light because we have a few games to choose from. But I do have a best bet for this, and that's in the Orioles and Blue Jays game. So we got Gausman going against Kremer, and 2 really good lineups. Like the Orioles, I have them ranked 6th out of 30, while I have the Blue Jays ranked 7 out of 30. We got 2 horrible bullpens. They're both ranked less than 25 in Major League Baseball right now. And we got 2 starting pitchers that are very mediocre. So Gausman used to be a stud, but this year he's quite inconsistent. He's not quite the San Francisco Giants Gausman. I have him ranked 14 out of 30 teams, which is toiling in mediocrity. And I got Kremer ranked 20 out of 30. So he's below mediocrity. But for some reason, I looked up the pitcher prop here, and Kremer, his outs recorded is 17.5. And if you're not used to doing outs recorded bets, basically 1 inning is 3 outs. So 18 outs is 6 innings on the nose. So the bet basically is, will Kremer finish the 6th inning or not? And I would say not, because if you look at his stats against the Blue Jays, and he has a plethora of at-bats against them, 67 to be exact. He has a batting average against of 313 and an OPS against of 910, which is bad. Like I said earlier, I like 750 as kind of the Mendoza line in OPS. Not only that, but in his last 5 starts, he's only finished 6 innings once. He does get up there in the pitch count, but he's only gone over 95 pitches 2 times in his last 7 starts. So they do jerk him early. most of that is because he gives up runs. He's given up 4 runs, 1, 3, 2, 5 in his last 5 starts. So I don't think he's going to finish 6 innings here, because the Blue Jays, despite the general manager coming out today and throwing the team under the bus, saying they suck and they're underperforming, I still think they have a good lineup. And I still think, when your GM comes out and makes comments like that about you, you want to come out and prove them wrong. So I think the Blue Jays will come out here hitting. And they do hit Kremer in his career in 66 at-bats against. So I like the under 17.5 outs recorded for Kremer. That's my best bet for the show today.
Is Dean going deep today? Tokyo Brandon says no. Under the 17.5 outs. Free best bet for you there. One of the hottest handicappers year over year that the WagerTalk has to offer. Man, I think me and BP share a brain. Pirates and Reds for me today. Yeah, so that's. I'm sorry, Tyler. I guess today we'll schedule your lobotomy to help you out. You do not want to be sharing a brain with our man, BP. Yes. So hey, well,
during the second game of during the second game of yesterday's doubleheader, for sure you would not have wanted to be sharing a brain with BP. Yes, I can say that.
Tyler,
for sure.
Tyler firing it up today, though. He says, "I love it when Tokyo Brandon explains outs recorded like we're in elementary school." So if he needs 3 outs, 6 innings, 6 times 3, hey, I appreciate it, TB. I will say, because I still use my fingers to add. So they definitely, it works for me.
What movie was that? Talk to me like I'm a 6-year-old. What movie was that? I know there's a movie quote somewhere. Talk to me like I'm a 6-year-old. Anyway, all right. Probably before you guys. I'm older than everyone.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, exactly. It's like referencing Rich Kotite here in 2024. Yeah. Only the timeliest references we have.
I'm the same age as
also,
Prez, by the way, so
shout out to. Well, I'm sorry that you have to be in the same generation as our man
Don't
Prez.
Show brain with me.
Yeah, that's no one would survive doing that. But also shout out to From Within. You see how he's making money here on the Marlins. That's his collection plate. He also threw us a little tip, so big thanks. It was thanks to Brandon for the Padres winner that he had for him last night. So From Within, we appreciate you. We appreciate you tuning in, and like he says there, you can get insight. You don't have to take every pick that these guys are having. Sometimes even just in the analysis section, you'll get tools to make you better bettors moving forward. And that's what we aim to do here live for you on First Pitch. So appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to the chat. On your way out, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're watching us on TikTok, Instagram, X, hit that follow button, and we'll stay getting you that info you know and love right in your timeline. Single game videos, and of course, we go live. Speaking of which, 20 minutes from now, Wager Talk today coming your way. Ralph Michaels, he's coming with the charts. Steve Merrill. There were some folks shouting out Merrill in the chat here today. 2 R's, 1 L. Going to talk some Olympic men's basketball. He's going to give some thoughts on MLB. And if UFC in the Octagon is your thing, we got Kyle Anthony coming up your way, hopefully getting you some UFC winners, a man who sees it well year after year, event after event, for you in UFC action. Once again, we got the Reds first 5 versus the Marlins. That's Brian Powers, free play. Tokyo Brandon going with Dean Kremer under the 17.5 outs. On the way out, hit that like button. We will see you locked and loaded on a Friday edition, getting you ready to go for the weekend in MLB action. Until then, folks, hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you next time here on First Pitch.